From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Just ahead this morning, we take a look at the Republican primary in Montana's brand new first congressional district and a controversial candidate. That'll be interesting to dive into coming up. Good morning, Southwest Montana, 6:30, middle of May, but it's looking like winter over in Butte, America this morning.
A bit of a reminder that you're in Southwest Montana,
Exactly.
not Southwest Florida. It is, we talked about it, 40, 50 mile an hour gust of wind yesterday.
It was windy.
System dropping in from Canada, bringing cooler temperatures. We had some snow. In fact, there's still some snowflakes in the air in places out there. Passes could be a little challenging. There's still a winter storm warning in effect for parts of the area. And then it's all going to be gone. And by the time we get into the middle of next week, we're talking about temperatures in the 70s. We're a long way from that. Now, however, it's 24 in West Yellowstone, 28 in Dillon, only 30 in Ennis with a little snow showers, 32 in Bozeman at the airport. Butte right now at 31 degrees. As far as your day goes, we're going to get into the 40s, barely, but we'll hang out into those middle 40s. Showers will taper off by your noon hour, and then we're going to get some clearing skies into the overnight hours. That means cold temperatures tonight. We're talking 20s and teens. We'll have details of that. Plus, a look into your weekend when Montana This Morning, coming up in a couple minutes.
We will see in a bit. 6:31 now. We're continuing our preview of Montana's primary elections with a look at the Republican race in the first congressional district. It's where one candidate is at the center of conversation, both from his supporters and his opponents. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Imbarian takes a look.
5 Republican candidates will be on the primary ballot in Montana's Western Congressional District, and 4 of them are based right here in the Flathead. Flathead County is one of the main centers of Republican voters in the 1st Congressional District, which also covers areas like Missoula, the Bitterroot, Butte, and Bozeman. Much of the attention in the primary has been on Ryan Zinke. The former Montana congressman and Secretary of the Interior under President Donald Trump is seeking a return to Congress. He says issues like inflation, energy independence, and border security are fixable, but it will take leadership to do it.
The Republicans have to learn how to lead together. We have to make sure that we financially put this country back on good footing. And these are hard decisions that have to be made. But also we have to do it, I think, red, white, and blue. There's too much anger.
Zinke has raised by far the most money in the Republican race. He can also tout a strong endorsement from Trump. This week, the former president participated in a brief tele-rally on Zinke's behalf, praising his work on energy production and access to public lands.
Ryan has my complete and total endorsement. With his help and with everybody's help, this country will be turned around.
During the campaign, Zinke's opponents have raised questions about his residency in Montana. Last week, Politico reported his wife Lola had claimed a tax deduction on a home in California, declaring it as her primary residence. Zinke says his wife owns that property in her own right, after inheriting it from her family. He says his own primary residence remains in Whitefish, at what had previously been his grandmother's home. One rival who hasn't hesitated to bring up the residency issue is Al Olszewski, an orthopedic surgeon and former state senator from Kalispell. Olszewski has been sharply critical of Zinke, questioning his conservative credentials on a variety of issues.
Look, I respect that President Trump has given an endorsement to Ryan Zinke, but the truth is that I will always out-hustle Ryan Zinke when it comes to our American First policies. And what we need to do is look no further than our voting record.
Olszewski calls himself a grassroots, limited government conservative. He ran in Republican primaries for U.S. Senate in 2018 and governor in 2020, and says he's put in the time around the state, working on issues like property rights, water rights, and health care. Mary Todd of Kalispell says she joined the congressional race to protest what she calls government corruption. In 2012, her son Shane was found dead after leaving his job with a firm in Singapore. Local authorities ruled it a suicide, but Todd believes he was murdered. She says he feared for his life due to his suspicions about his employer illegally transferring sensitive technology to the Chinese tech giant Huawei. Todd says she asked for a congressional investigation, and she believes that didn't happen because of the Chinese government's influence in Washington.
I would like to represent this state in the best that I can for all the constituents. As a constituent that wasn't listened to, I know what it is, so I will listen to the people of Montana, I will serve them, and I will respond to them.
Mitch Hewer, who lives near Whitefish, runs a factory home building business and an engineering firm. He argues there isn't enough innovation coming out of Congress, and Montana needs to send a candidate from outside the establishment. Hewer advocates for a convention of states to propose an amendment to the U.S. Constitution, implementing strict term limits for Congress.
We need to have a lot of fresh minds and bodies and servants in Congress. Otherwise, we're just going to end up settling for scraps like we have been.
The only Republican candidate from outside the Flathead is Matt Jetty, a teacher and professor from Missoula. He's also taking a different tone than his opponents, running as a moderate. He's previously made political runs in Arizona and says he returned to Montana last year specifically to run against Zinke. Jetty is encouraging people who don't usually vote in Republican primaries to support him as an alternative to a Trump Republican.
If you don't go out and vote, if you don't go out and participate, then it's going to be politics that's the same. And we're going to have a Zinke or someone else, and you're going to be here 2 years, 4 years, 6 years from now asking the exact same questions.
Montana's primary election day is June 7th. On Thursday, we'll give you a closer look at the candidates running in the Eastern Congressional District. In Kalispell, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Legal weed across many states means the issue of accurately identifying marijuana-related DUIs is a problem that still begs to be addressed. Newsy's tech correspondent Tyler Adkison looks into what's holding us back from finding a better test for THC impairment and if there's even something close on the horizon.
Have you anything to drink tonight?
The kinds of tests and technology for detecting drunk drivers has long been standardized across the U.S. Yet the same kind of widespread roadside test doesn't exist for marijuana impairment, despite 38 states allowing legal weed for recreational use or by prescription. Typically, if you get pulled over and police suspect you're high, they can do a field sobriety test, use specially trained officers to make that call, or run a toxicology exam. Field tests are often subjective, and toxicology reports may show the presence of THC in your system, but not whether you're inebriated.
The pharmacokinetics of alcohol are relatively unique to alcohol. There's a linear correlation between the more one drinks, the higher their blood alcohol levels, and maximum blood alcohol levels being correlated with maximum impairment of performance. If we had those same linear correlations with cannabis and other substances, arguably we would have per se standards for them too, but we don't.
Very quickly after someone smokes, it dissipates and disperses throughout the body. Something like 90% of the THC is out of the blood within the first hour, hour and a half. The other challenge that law enforcement faces is when they draw blood, quite often it's an hour or two after the person's been pulled over. So if you look at our data and others' data, by the time you're out a couple hours, it's relatively low levels and may not reflect very well what was actually in the blood at the time of driving, let alone right after they smoked.
There is a push to use more performance-based technology to evaluate motor skills.
When you see a circle, touch the screen where you saw it.
One such tool, an app called Druid, tests for things like hand-eye coordination to determine whether someone is fit to drive.
They've taken these scientifically validated measurements of performance and they have put them together so that individuals can essentially test themselves. They can test their short-term memory recall. They can test their balance. They can test the estimation of the passage of time. And depending how they perform on those tests, and depending on whether or not their performance differs from their baseline performance, we can make assumptions about whether or not they may be under the influence.
THC can impair driving as it slows a driver's reaction time and decision-making process. A reliable roadside test is still far away, and experts told Newsy that before we get there, much more research needs to be done to determine how things like biological differences, intake methods, and even how alcohol combined with THC can affect drivers.
One of the questions is whether it's an additive effect where 1 + 1 = 2, you add them together, or maybe there's a synergistic effect where in combination, they're even worse for you than adding them together. There are some data indicating that in the presence of alcohol, THC levels are higher. That's something we'll be trying to look at. It's not clear why that is.
Tyler Adkison, Newsy, Chicago.